I don't. I would. It's more going to be a very short intro about what LinkedIn is and what we do via LinkedIn. And beyond that, I think we'll just open up for questions and we'll open up to hear what you do. So, like how Parvati was asking, some of you told, shared your experience of shared your viewpoints on what LinkedIn is. How many of you have LinkedIn accounts? While I share my screen, please. How many of you have LinkedIn accounts? You can. Right, that's great. There I can see a lot of hands going up. Very nice. Nice. So that's a lot of people who have LinkedIn accounts. One, two. All right, that's good. So, like some of you said, LinkedIn is rightly used for professional networking, right? It is used for you to ensure that you have a proper uh, professional life. I'm sure that all of you have Instagram accounts. Uh, and for all, if it were in a classroom, I would see all of you, or if it was a boardroom, I would see all of you. For all you know, you're just scrolling through your LinkedIn with your phone that's right at your desk or on your phone uh, uh, through Instagram. So Instagram is a place where you probably go in and you put in your photos, you put in a lot of your creativity in terms of dances, you might sing well, you might draw something, you might put things over there, right? So Instagram is more a creative space for you, right? Facebook is more, I don't know what to call Facebook anymore, but was supposed to be a social circle that helps you in replicating your social network in terms of your friends and family. You bring that entire thing online, and that becomes Facebook for you. LinkedIn, on the other hand, for those of you who are hearing it for the first time or who know about it, don't know much, I'm just going to go down to the basics. LinkedIn is basically a social network that helps you build professional networks, right? So you can, if you're interested in the area of, let's say, water management, you can go into LinkedIn. You will be able to find, you'll be able to find people who are there. If you want to find people who have gotten certain scholarships, you're interested in studying, you want to go ahead on your studies, you want to find people who are there. So LinkedIn is primarily, doing all these things. So let me just go through the presentation. We'll be going through one by one a little bit, and then we'll see. Now, some of us, including me, are introverts. I'd like to believe we don't like. I don't derive pleasure from interacting with hundreds and thousands of people. It's an effort. It's something that I have to consciously put in. So I will go back and I always ask, why should I do this networking bit, right? So these are some of the things that will probably help you decide why you should do some amount of networking. While a lot of networking may be spending, if your average time on social media is about 4, 6, 7 hours a day, I would say maybe about 20 minutes on LinkedIn is probably good enough for you to, slowly grow your network on LinkedIn, depending on what you want to do. But why, right? Why LinkedIn? Now, all of us are students. I hear that, I realize that all of you are from second year in your own programs, maybe graduation, undergraduation, whatever your specializations are. You're probably in your second year and you are looking at growing professionally. All of you are looking forward to getting jobs, right? Maybe you want to study, you want to go abroad, you want to go find a better university, maybe inside India, outside India. You might want to find a good internship. You might want to find an internship in Google. You might want to find an internship in Microsoft. You might want to do something with Ola, Uber, or maybe with LinkedIn as such itself. So you will definitely have to do this, right? For you to get your certificate, irrespective of what course you do, you have to do an internship. For all practical purposes, you will be doing a post graduation. You might be doing a good chunk of you may also want to do your doctorates, PhDs, and you will want to go ahead in your career, right? So that is definitely one of the pathways that you have chosen, and that is going to be. So the way that this session is being structured is so that you have the ammunition to go ahead and create, how can you use LinkedIn as an engine that will help you get what you want. It can be you might want to get an internship, you might want to get a scholarship, you might want to get employment, you might want to get business growth if you plan to do, if you are going to be a starter, you're an entrepreneur, you want to start a company, how can you use LinkedIn? So that is something that you can do. Now, some of facts out there, 94% of hiring managers, they go through your LinkedIn profile. About 65% check Facebook and Twitter, they do the same. So these are basic stats that are there that will help you. Uh, I asked this question earlier. A lot of you have the LinkedIn profile. And now, what we'll go through the session is how you can effectively design your LinkedIn profile so that you will be able to use it effectively to get what you want. Right. So, this is for those of you who know, this is going to be a repetition. For those of you who do not know, this is basically how the the homepage of LinkedIn looks like. You can log in, you can create a ID, you can log in and do your stuff. But what is the first thing we do when we create a profile? We go ahead and we start connecting with people. I'm sure that's what you did when you created your Instagram account, when you created your Facebook account. You might put in a photo and say that, okay, now I'm going to, put in all the details later. I will add in all the details later. But for now, let me just connect with people. My friend is there, my family is there, my brother is there, my classmate is there, my best friend is there. Let me go and send a couple of connection requests. I can see my professor also here. Let me send them also that request. But before that, we'll work on, trying to help you get your profile right. Right. Now, when you go to your profile, one of the first things that you do is you put up a photo. Right now, what is the photo that you would do? You might be standing on top of you might be on your bike wearing a helmet, or you may not be wearing a helmet with cool glasses, and you'll be standing and be taking a photo. Right, that is probably one of the photos that go. If it's maybe some of your shopping, you have bought a new bag, or you've bought a new, you're visiting somewhere. It's going to be a cool selfie that you're clicking, or you're eating something very nice. You're eating with your best friend, and you're in a group of friends. So you start do that. You put one of those pictures, right? Otherwise, what you do is you will have someone, you will say that, I don't really respect, I don't know how safe my photos are online. Therefore, I'm going to put a dog's photo, right? So my name is going to be Maheshwar Pratap, and under that is going to be a dog's photo or a cat's photo, because I love cats, I love dogs. Or, I love Shah Rukh Khan. I'm going to put Shah Rukh Khan's photo up over there. But people know that I am not Shah Rukh Khan, and they're going to be disappointed when they see that, Maheshwar Pratap is not Shah Rukh Khan. So you should be able to design your photo properly, put up the right photo. You don't, when you're going to a party, you probably have a lot of light, you're in a dark area. You don't put those kind of photos. You try to have some of those examples that are shown towards the left part of the slide. You will see that there are some where your face is very clear. There are no major distractions. At least 75% of the image is covered with you, and not, your surroundings, or, a very distant landscape view. That's not what we are looking at, right? So don't leave it empty also. So you know that when you find empty profiles, when you find a Shah Rukh Khan sending you a connection request, or a dog sending you a connection request, you know that the profile is fake, right? So if you're trying to get someone in organization to schedule an interview for you, or, trying to shortlist your resume, they might see that, okay, who is this guy? He looks like he doesn't know what he is. There is some dog photo. We don't know who the person is really. Maybe he's not mature enough for the current role that we have. So usually, right now, you might feel that these are all small things. I am in my second year. Why do I need to worry about all these things? I'll do it when I get up over there. But this is something that you'll have to build over a period of time. So maybe you start very small with 10 people on your network, 10, 20 people on your network, but slowly build and try to understand how the system works, and it'll eventually be beneficial for you, right? So Then when you go on to the LinkedIn, so let me try and open up one LinkedIn profile so that we can know what we are talking about. Just give me a minute. Oh, right. So I'm going to show you a profile of someone I know, and I'm going to just put this up over here, right? So this is essentially how a profile would usually look like, right? Are you able to see the profile? Are you able to see what's on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So this is essentially how a profile would look like. What we were talking about is the profile picture that is there, and then you have a name which you would want to put, right? And then you have a headline, right? So this is probably a headline that this person has put, but the headline that you want to put, you would have seen some profiles on Facebook that come in and say that, I am a student, not yet working, still studying, intern. These are the kind of, you might say that, you are a student of Amrita School of Engineering or student of Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham. You might say all these things, but these are essentially telling what you currently are, right? But what your profile is should ideally say is what you want to be, right? So there is a difference. What you currently are is probably a student, but you are using this profile to get where you want to be, right? You want to be probably an engineer. You want to be a journalist. You want to be a proofreader. You want to be a transcriptionist. What you want to be. So what is your future? And that should be what your headline is. So some examples for that is what I've written up over there. You can see aspiring environmental engineer. So that tells you that it's very specific. You're telling that you want to be an environmental engineer and you want to be an aspiration. You're aspiring to be one, right? Or you want to be an architect. You're aspiring to be an architect. You can say that you can be a little more specific if you want. You can say that you're a passionate automobile design specialist. So that is what you will put it when you have already attained that situation, right? When you've attained that that position that you want to be, right? Once you do that, then comes your appropriate keyword. So invariably, you will be looking at LinkedIn. You will be looking at, for example, you might be looking at one sec. I'm not You might be looking at jobs, right? All of you would know that there are jobs over here. If you look at just jobs over here, you will see that there are all these different jobs that are coming in, right? Now, let's say that there is custom research manager that's there. Now, when you look at this role, there are going to be role details that you get. There are a lot of things that are showing up over here about the team. So this is where it is going to be critical because this is essentially what are the qualifications and skills that you will need to have when you are applying for this position, right? Therefore, what we are trying to do is that we should have keywords from here, from this highlighted area, come up in your profile, right? So it should be able to, that what you're talking about. Let me go back. Yeah. So that what we are talking about should come back and that should show up somewhere over here in terms of what you have done over here. It should show up in your skill section over here. It should be showing up on your brief about over here, and that should generally be available over what this, which is your qualification and skill section, should match with what is there in your profile. Right now, you might not be able to relate to this. So let me just say I'm looking at architect. Uh, Right. So let me look at an architect's job. I'm trying to look at a internship, right? And I'm going to look at there are about 15 profession this and that. So there is a these are the about 15 results that are there in India. You can look at all these different things. Right. See now if you look at this role over here, you will see that there is the first time right automation. There are these couple of things that are there are going to be your source of keywords, right? You should be able to display to the person who is going to see your profile that you are capable of delivering this, right? So therefore, it is very important for you to have the appropriate keyword, right? You should be able to, fill in every single section. So there will be like how we saw in that profile up over there. You would have seen that there is uh, so let's say there is a head over here, there is a brief about section over here. These are things that you might write, which you may not have initially in your sections, but this is not something that you would do. But definitely your experience. You might just say that you're, a certain student, you've done a certain course, but write in detail about what you have done over there. Even if you've done an internship, you can write about it. Write specifically what are the things that you wrote, what are the things that you did when you were in your internship. If you have volunteered for AYUDH, if you have volunteered for any other non-governmental organization or any, other internships that you have taken, you would want to be very careful about what you put in over here and put in as much as possible in detail, right? Similarly, in your skill section, also go and put in. Now, this is just about 8 skills that are there. You can put up to, I think, some 30 skills that you can put in. This person has put in about, I think, about 8, 9, 10, 11 skills that are there, but there are definitely more than that. Go ahead, and your professors are already probably telling you to take up a lot of online courses. Go ahead and put all those courses over here, right? If you've done a project, go ahead and put those projects. Tell what those projects are. What did you do in those projects? What did you learn from those projects? Was there a publication from that project? Put in all those things. If you are looking at outside, outside India, you can look at, if you want certain, languages that you want to put in that. If you have worked with certain organizations, what did you do in those organizations? Put in over there. And of course, these are things that go without saying. You can follow people, you can be groups of certain interest groups that you're interested in. If you have an alumni group, you can go and join that alumni group. If you like a certain company, you can go in and join those companies also. Right. So essentially, what LinkedIn is trying to do is to mimic your professional profile on an online platform. Therefore, it is very important for you to pay attention in every single section. Right. Once you have a complete profile, we are not talking of a profile which where you have all the sections filled, but if there is some relevant information that you know about that you think is going to enhance your quality in terms of professionalism, I urge that you put that in over there and with the right spelling. I can't tell you how important your grammar and spelling is, and talking about this with experience. Getting students placed in MBA colleges. I've tried to place about over 7 batches, which is about 50 students per batch, maybe about 350 students that we are talking about. I can't tell you how important it is for you to, have the right spelling, have the right grammar, and being able to communicate the right way for you to make the right impression out there, right? So why, see, you might think that, it is only enough if I have the content, if I have the substance. But unfortunately or fortunately, we are in a business where people are looking and they're judging you in the first 5 or 10 minutes that you interact with them. So it is important for you to make that right impression in the first 5 to 10 minutes. How do they make it? You may not be able to physically go and meet them in your office, especially in the current scenario. That is probably not happening. You will have to go and, you will have to create an online presence. And this is not, it is not like, if you have LinkedIn, you're going to get a job. No, that is not how it works. It says that, okay, it is like a sanity check. No, you need to use a sanitizer, to move. You need to have a vaccine when you're moving around in places. It is just like that. It helps if you have a LinkedIn profile. It is not that you must have a LinkedIn profile. It is not that you must take up your vaccination. No, it is not like that. But if you have it, it will help you. Therefore, it is all the more important for you to have your profile and make it stand out. Now, I might be going very fast. Please pause me if I'm going too fast. It's been about 20 minutes. I'm just blabbering on and hoping that some of it is this message is coming across to all of you. Right now, once your profile is completely done, you have created everything. You're quite confident of where you stand right now. Then you go ahead and you start sending your connection request. Right? You send in connection request, and when you want to send in a connection request, you don't simply go in and say go and connect. Right now, how does that work when you wait a minute. So when you are going to send a connection request, let's say that you know this certain person that's there, right? You know that there is this person, or let's say I'm going to look at uh, so I'm going to look at this is one of our MBA students from Amritapuri campus. I'm not going to directly go here and say connect, right? What do? I go back and I say I'm going to share profile with. Where does that come? Yeah, you say here and you say you add a note. So you say, hi, Sai, I am so and so, I like these things, I know. So I'll show you a couple of scripts that are there, right? But that is how you send a connection request. So you should be able to send personalized messages when you're sending connection requests. Otherwise, it is not going to be any different from your Facebook request that you're going to send, or all the creepy uncles and aunties that are sending you connection requests on Facebook or LinkedIn. There's going to be no difference. How do you make yourself stand out? By telling that you mean business. You're not here to loiter and make friends and have a gala time. You're here for business. You're here to expand your realm of knowledge. You're here to expand your network so that you can grow, and that is for you. But how does it work out for the other person, right? You should make it about the other person. So you should be able to show how you're going to give value. How are you going to contribute value in your interaction? So your relationship, how is the other person going to get advantage? What is the advantage that the other person is going to get, right? So what do? You find a connection. You search for a certain person's name. You search for a certain person's designation, a certain organization, and then you go back and see what are the kind of things that the person has been doing. Right? Once you read up, so for example, a person has been writing a certain kind of blog and articles, you try and read those blogs and articles and see if you like, if you don't like, if you have an opinion, if you have a comment about what they have written. Right? And therefore you go ahead and you approach the person. That is one way to do it. Now, all of us may not be as, at least I may not be as smart to read an article and think that I may not feel confident to approach the person directly, right? So what will I do? I will go and ask him a question. I'm going to ask him, see, I know that you got this scholarship. I know that you're in a position which I want to be maybe 5 years down the line. How can you help me? How can I, what do you think you can do in order to help me get there? Right? So it is very simple, very clean messaging, very straightforward messaging that you're trying to bring in, right? So these are some of the things that are you could look at. For example, I just came across your profile on LinkedIn and I saw that you worked for Google. I am following your company for some time and I like the area that Google is working in, so and so. And I want to hear about you, about how it is to work in this place. I think you'll be busy, but you should always close with a call for action where you're telling that, can we talk? Can we talk this week? Can we talk next week? But let us talk. You're, you're clearly asking for a response. In other cases, what you do is it'll be great to connect with you and hope to have a fruitful professional relationship. But where does that go? That does not lead anywhere, right? This is another example that you can look at. It is, I like your profile. I really like this part. Given that you have been working in this particular area, I'd like to know what you think about a certain other technology in that area. And can I, talk to you about it? Can we be there, right? So this is something also that you can look at. Now, going back to finding connections, right? Some of you may be looking at internships and how to come about with internships. So let us say that I'm going up here and I'm looking at a company. Let us say I'm going to look at, let's say L and T, Larsen and Turbo, right? I'm going to look at this company. Now, some of the ways, how do I approach getting internships or jobs in this area is you go to, one thing you can do is go directly to their job section, right? And look for, internship trainee, right? You can directly search over there and it is probably not available. You can go and just look for trainee in L&T. Is there something available? Yes, there are so many things that are available. There are so many profiles. There is an engineering graduate. This is on site in US. This is there in Maharashtra, in Bombay. So this is there. This is one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is going to people and going when you go to the company and look for people and you're going to search over here recruiter, right? Once you search for recruiter, you see for where if there are people who are recruiters, see that. So you have all these people who are working in L&T and who are recruiting. You directly go ahead and connect with these people. How do you connect? Like how we told earlier, you go back, you press the connect request, you try to research a bit about the person, you go back, you write a couple of lines and you connect with that person and you say, I'm reaching out for an internship and I'm reaching out for a certain role, right? So this is something that you can always do. So these are some ways in which you can always reach out to people. Another way is, just generally directly search, go in and search in the search button, internship in uh, Bangalore, right? And look for people. See, somebody is, let's say, hiring. And you look for posts and see if there are people. See, Amazon is hiring interns in Bangalore. These are the roles that are there. How do you go about it? Now, you will see that a lot of people are going and telling, I'm interested. Please don't do that. It is not going to help you. But usually there are, see this. This is a co-founder of a certain startup. He's telling that architecture students can apply for this particular internship. This is a great post, right? You can directly connect with co-founders of companies, directors, HR managers. You can do all those kind of connections. See, hiring interns based in Bangalore in Inseed. These are great opportunities. So similarly, you will be able to find internships. You will be able to, find opportunities. I'm showing you internships because that is probably going to be relevant for you immediately. But in the future, you will definitely need jobs, and you can always look for jobs that are there, right? And like every social media profile, LinkedIn requires you to be a little active. So how do you be active? You regularly, do a couple of comments, you like each other's profile, you upvote in terms of skills, connect with relevant people, and there is something called as endorsements. How does endorsements work? So you saw that there are skills, right? At some point, you will see that, for example, we were looking at a profile. So let us say I'm going back to my heading, and I am looking at my skills over here. Now, these are the skills that I want to showcase. I want to showcase that I want to be someone who is an expert in research. I want to be someone who is good at project management and team management. So, when you see people who are doing this, you will be able to, for example, if I'm going to a certain person's profile, I'm not able to, yeah, I'm going to this person's profile who is also a professor at Amritapuri campus, ASB. I will be able to go and I'll be able to endorse him for business development. Now go ahead, shamelessly endorse all your friends, right? All your classmates, all your friends, and go ahead and endorse. It is just going to help them, right? So that is also one of the ways you can help the LinkedIn profile. So what happens is that when that endorsement, when that particular skill is relevant for the internship or the job profile that you're looking for, this will directly show up, right? This is going to directly show up. It is going to directly this endorsement, the LinkedIn is going to say that, okay, maybe this job or this internship is going to be more relevant for you. As a recruiter, that person will also know that you have relevant skills. You are more skillful. You're an expert in that particular skill or not. Now, one of the last things you can do is, or one of the last things that you can pay attention is to create your own personalized extension. How does that work? Now, a lot of you would see that when you're looking at LinkedIn profiles, see, you look at this is probably going to be linkedin.com/in/a Suresh. Instead of that, you should be, in some cases, when LinkedIn by itself gives you, it is going to be some random numbers that you probably would not, you can't remember, right? But you can go to your profile. I think you can go to your profile and then you can edit your public profile and URL. When you go here, you should be able to edit your profile. Wait, let me look at that. Yeah, here I can personalize this profile. So here I am able to put MSM Pratap, which is something that I want to put for my profile. You should be able to put your name or some link that is directly going to connect, which means that anywhere you go linkedin.com/in/MSM Pratap, it is going to directly take you to my profile, right? You should be able to do the same thing with your profiles also. Therefore, you have a professional LinkedIn profile for yourself when recruiters or hiring managers are coming to see or evaluate you, right? So that is all in terms of the profile that we are trying to do. How does a good profile look? I'm trying to just summarize all that we just discussed. You got to have a professional headline about what you aspire to be. It is not what you currently are, it is what you aspire to be. You should be able to go and create your customized URL, which is your linkedin.com/in/, Parvati, if that's what you want to put, right? Then a complete LinkedIn profile also helps because you don't have any open things. You put a proper image, you ensure that your headlines are right, you put in all your education details, your internship details, your project details, you put all of that. Link your official organization page. Like there will be hundreds of pages for Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham, but look for what is the official page of Amrita Vishwavidyapeetham and link that to your profile. Optimize your profile to the job description that you want to be. Now, if you want to be known as a writer, a good content writer, you want to ensure that your profile reflects that. So optimize it for the job descriptions. Optimize the job titles that you want to get to. That can go into your professional headline. So you want to be a professional content writer. You can say that aspiring content writer in science and technology or in literature or in history. That is something that you can put in. Get more endorsements. You have friends, you have colleagues, you have seniors, juniors, teachers, get them all to endorse you, and you in return endorse them, and get your LinkedIn profile elsewhere, which means that put it up on your resumes. When you talk to people, connect them through LinkedIn, ask them to reach you through your LinkedIn profile, and over a period of time, before you know, you will have a very good profile. Right now, why am I talking about all of this? Why am I thinking? Why am I pushing LinkedIn so much? LinkedIn is not the be all and end all of everything, but I have had experiences of friends and cousins who have quit their jobs during the pandemic, which is sometime especially in the first wave kinds in March, right when the lockdown started, without a job offer in hand, and then got placed in leading research institutions by September through LinkedIn because of the profile and because of the kind of work that they had done. It is only because that this person had, maintained their profile over a period of time, and we had pushed this person to, groom them and asked her to ensure that the profile is in place, that he or she was able to land that profile. And this is coming from experience. So therefore, it will help you in the long run for you to have a sanitized LinkedIn profile. You will be learning a lot. It is not that you will have it on day one. It is a process of evolution. If 10 years before, if you look at my Facebook profile, I am going to be ashamed of it. So when I started my Facebook profile, it is not something that was great. I grew over a period of time. All of us learned how to better utilize profiles, And therefore, this is one of the ways in which you can do it, right? And yeah, networking is not just about LinkedIn, it is beyond LinkedIn. So always go beyond LinkedIn, always, go and meet people depending on the kind of work, the kind of internship that you're targeting, the kind of scholarship that you're targeting, and go ahead and, conquer the world. That's all I got to say. So that is it from my end in terms of the verbal diary of just saying. I wish it was more interactive in terms of seeing you, but I'll pause right now. And if you have anything, any questions that you would want to ask, if you would think that what I said is not great, you have a better way of doing it, I'm all yours to hearing from you. Now this silence means two things, which you already know, but yeah.
Maheshwar, sir.
Yeah, Shreya, tell me.
Sir, is there any connection limit on LinkedIn? Like,
I think some 5,000 or something is there. I think some
pardon
5,000.
me, sir.
Facebook, yeah, I think about 5,000 something should be there. But trust me, if you have a good network, you don't need so many people. Even 500, 600 good networks are, much more than enough for you to build, for you to grow.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I know it's a second Saturday when you didn't want to have classes, and to listen to something like it's that you're not familiar with. It's probably not like your other AYUDH Sandhya talks that are there. This is going to be a little more, what do you say, on hands than what you expected. Is that it?
Shreya, in case you guys have any questions, you can raise your questions as well.
Sir,
Yeah.
is there any word limit on applying to a company? It must be very short or descriptive.
You're going to send your personalized request, connection request has a word limit. I think it is some 200 or 300 characters or something like that. So that limit is definitely there. But if you're asking me about your resume, most of us in this group may not have work experience, which means that your resume should not be more than 2 pages. It should be probably just 2 pages. 2 pages is also too much. If you're able to fit it in one page, great, including your projects. But if you've done a lot of good projects, you have engaged in some real good work, then see, you can push it to 2 pages. Beyond 2 pages, nobody is going to read.
Okay, sir.
And cover letters, if you're asking for cover letters have to be in one page. More than one page, again, nobody is going to read. And even in that, your first paragraph is going to be very critical about how you're going to deliver value to the company through your role. That is very important.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Now, when you start applying, there's some general stuff. If you start applying, you might think that why am I not getting responses? The response rate is probably 0.5%. That means that uh, if you apply for to 200 companies, you might get acceptance into one. So that is how it is. Unfortunately, in the Indian context, the supply for labor is very high, so there is a lot of competition. Therefore, it is all the more competitive, and which requires you to be a little more active and smart in that sense. So if you are applying to for an internship and you have applied to 10 companies, then you got rejections from 4, and 6 companies didn't even respond. Don't feel dejected. All of us have been there, done that. Mm, yeah, 100 is a small number in terms of applications.
Hi, Maheshwar.
Hi.
You can hear me? Yeah. This is Unni, by the way. And my question was about people making a transition from academia to the industry. And if you have any advice, in that regard, like how to position yourself in LinkedIn for that transition. Thanks.
Right. For that specific purpose, if people are going in from academia to industry, there is actually a group called as Cheeky Scientist. There's an organization who specializes in helping people transition from academia to industry. So it's a paid membership organization that's there, which you get access to content. And in fact, a lot of my content today is derived from that organization also. In terms of all of my learning, like how I told at the beginning of the session, I wasn't great at networking. But usually when we're talking of academia to industry, it's post PhD transitions. And when we're looking at post PhD transitions, the thing is, academia has a lot of things that we do, but we don't know what are those in the context, in the language of the industry to call it, right? So that is referred to as transferable skills. Sorry. Yeah, so that is referred to as transferable skills. So there are technical skills and transferable skills. Technical skills are those that you learn through our, online. There are programming that you would learn. There is Python. There is coding. All those things are all the technical skills that you would learn. But there are transferable skills. Those skills are like project management skills, time management, understanding the ability to read a research paper, summarize it, present it in about 15 minutes says a lot. And for you to be able, if you are working in a project, an academia project, you are able to manage time, you are able to work in a team, you are able to sell the budget to your superiors, you are able to manage funding. So all of these are transferable skills. So for us to translate that into the language of the industry is where the entire game lies over there. So you should be able to get that translation in place. If you do that, then you are there. But it's not an easy road. It's a lot of work. Does that help?
Thanks for the answer, Maheshwar. Thank you.
How are you doing? Only long time. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I think we should. I think I'll personally message you. I have many questions, but
right.
Thanks for the session.
No problem. All right, I think that's about it.
Now, share Parvati.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you, Mahesh sir, for such a insightful session. To be honest, I was a person who was not having much knowledge about the importance of LinkedIn, and also I don't have a LinkedIn account till now. But after hearing from Mahesh sir, like how to create a profile, what all common mistake that we make, and what all things we have to particular in when we complete our profile, and once we have created it, how we should connect it. I think this session is going to help us all time. And today itself, I will create a LinkedIn account. And we all know about the present world. We can get everything at our fingertips. Science and technology are developing day by day, making things better and easier. It is really important that we also must move along with them. Whatever we leave as a small thing, we usually be something great in the future. Once again, let me thank this opportunity to express my humble gratitude to Mahesh sir and to all my dear friends who have joined and made this session really worthy. Thank you, sir.
Thank you all for the opportunity. Thank you, Aishwarya, Akshay, and all of you for being here and patiently listening. I hope you find this session useful, and you can always reach out to me later and we can catch up from there. All the best. Thank you, Navishaya.
Thank you, sir. So here we have come to the end of today's session. Hope to see you all in the next upcoming Sandhya session. Stay happy and stay safe. Thank you, Namshivaya.